What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, and in this video I'm going to show you how I went through the hordes and hordes of chocolate and broke out like a pimply faced teen going through puberty, all while I created an assortment of KDP books. Now, here's what you might not know. You might not know what KDP is, but I will break it down in this video and show you 13 different books that are red hot right now. I mean, they're literally fire, that are selling on KDP, and how you can actually create these books and make a full-time income. I even show you how much these books make, which if you're not excited, you should be. I'm definitely excited. I know my cat here is certainly extremely excited. And I'm imagining that the hordes of you out there are also super excited. I've seen the questions, I've seen the comments, and so today I finally break it down, baby. So let's go ahead and jump straight into my screen share and start looking at how much money these things are making. All right, so let's start with the fact of why I'm so excited. Well, first and foremost, that makes me answer the question, what is KDP? And no, KDP is not some STD or anything. Yeah, I know what you dirty bastards are thinking about out there. However, KDP is Amazon's direct publishing platform. And just so you know, at some point they bought CreateSpace, which was a place that you could create your very own books. So let's talk about why I'm so excited about KDP and show you the 13 different examples that I've actually seen that someone can do on KDP. So first and foremost, there are two main types of books that we will be producing. The first is a no content book. So to show you an example of a no content book, I'm going to jump straight into my very first book here. And that is a composition notebook. Now, here's what I want you to realize. First and foremost, this notebook, it just has a design, and then it's got this little thing that says composition notebook on it. And if we actually look inside, all it is lined paper, kind of like those old notebooks that we had to use to make our essays. It just brings really bad flashbacks about school. And let's just say I was one of the worst students ever, so I kind of haven't really seen the inside of one of these. But as you can see, it's very simple. We could create one of these pretty quickly, especially if we're good with Photoshop. But don't worry, I've created some books myself and I suck at Photoshop completely. In fact, I consider myself a graphic artist dummy, and yet despite the fact that I am a graphic artist dummy, I've still been able to create these in 30 minutes time. Let's take a look at the astounding fact about this actual book. If I scroll down here and look at bestseller rank, which we talked about in other videos, the BSR of this book is 23,000. So I can actually tell you how many units this sells approximately per day. In order to do that, you'll need to go to this actual sales book calculator, and right here select book and then hit the BSR rank. For this one, it was something like 21,000. And if I calculate the sales, this book is selling 13 units a day at about $2 or so profit. So let me double check what the price is. Yeah, we'll say $1.90 profit on this one. So I'm gonna get out my calculator and let your imagination run wild with this information. We've got 13 at 190, making about 25 bucks a day. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot of money, but keep in mind, what if you had hundreds of these working for you while you're out doing whatever it is else you do, like sitting around at the couch and eating all your snacks to the point where you get a pimple because you broke out from that chocolate. All right, so let's get on to the second style of book, which is the activity book, which is actually one of my favorite books. In fact, I even bought one just to show you guys what it looks like, and just to point out the fact that I'm studying my freaking niche. So I'm jumping in there and I'm actually buying a bunch of books. I'll show you another one here in a minute. But case in point, this book, which has 50 activities and the solutions, is about 65 or so pages long. And here's the shocking thing, right? So you might wonder what's in there. I don't even know how to create any of this crap. Neither do I. What's in there? Well, it's coloring pages, mazes, word searches, and all sorts of things like that. But here's the shocking part. So guys and girls, hold on to your hats, because you're about to find out how much money this book makes a month. It's at $116 in book at a price of $649. So if we take a look at $116 back on this calculator, and I actually type $116, this book sells 593 units a day. So let's do the math on that sucker. 593 at about 190 is $1,100 a day. And if we go back over here and we actually search on Amazon activity book, let's verify what the actual tools say that this actually makes. So I just searched activity book. I should have probably put for kids. So let me go and put activity book for kids. And we're going to use Market Intelligence or Jungle Scout. Either one will work. I'm going to fire up Market Intelligence to find out how much this puppy makes. And ta-da, let's see what it does. Here it is. $50,000 a month. $50,000 a month. So I showed you profit, which was about $1,200, but this book here is making $50K in revenue, right? So I'm pretty sure you guys are paying attention now. That was the activity book. Included in the activity book can be things like this puzzle book. So this is an example of a Sudoku book, which is very similar to the book I'm about to launch. And I'm launching the case study from how I ranked it from nothing to selling about 200 units a day is my predictions. We'll see if I hit or miss, but I certainly think that I'm going to do a pretty good job, and I'll show you why I think that. But Sudoku puzzles are red hot. And if I go to Amazon and I look at Sudoku puzzle, I can clearly see that these books can really sell. So they're loading up here, 158 in books, 858 in books. So let's go back and put this here, 858. It's not going to sell as well as the unicorn, but it's still going to sell. 163 units per day, 163 units at, this book makes about $350 a day. So I'm not talking about this owl book, I'm talking about this book, and you can see that the puzzle book niche is extremely lucrative, which brings me to my next niche, which is the actual planner niche. Now, this particular planner is a Christian planner, but hey, it's still a planner. And if we actually look inside the actual book, it's nothing more than a calendar, right? It's like a calendar with goals. However, it has a couple of Christian, so all it's got is Christian quotes. We really can't even see what the rest of it is, and that's why I've been just going nuts buying these. Luckily, these are essentials. So Amazon has decided to toss this in with nipple clamps, sex dolls, and rubber chickens. The book is essential, which is fantastic. All right, let's go to the next actual type of book that we can do. This book is an actual, what I call a storage book. So it stores information. In this case, this happens to be a recipe book, but I've seen these also for password books, especially for grandmas and grandpas who just don't do it like we do, right? They don't have phones. They want paper. And so with this particular recipe book, if we take a look at the pages inside, let's see what's inside there. And inside there is a title page, and then just a table of contents, which is blank. And then I don't know what else. Like they're just so secretive about this thing. They're making it seem like this is McDonald's fucking recipes. Like seriously, it's LOL. All right, so this book is $28.72. So once again, if we enter these numbers in for this simple book, and I'm telling you, you can even go out and buy templates to make these. They're selling 70 a day, so about $150 in profit a day. Sounds pretty good, right? For just a pile of lines and a place where people can put their actual recipes, which is kind of insanity. So let's take a look at the next one, which is a coloring book. And I actually went out and bought one just to kind of show you guys. This is a coloring book, and this was actually an extremely well-made coloring book. It has all sorts of flowers and animals, and this really cool lion, which I thought was the most awesome thing ever, but they have this actual line on the front. This book here is also crushing it. So I'm guessing several hundred units a day, but this one right here I found as well. This is also a coloring book. And if we actually look inside what this is, there's just like a saying in the middle and then a bunch of crap around it. Like, what the hell does a raccoon have to do with being curious? I mean, maybe he is curious. I'm inventive. I guess we all want our daughters to go out there with construction worker hats. That makes me sleep really well at night. But all in all, despite all that crap, this book is 18 in books. And this is selling 1,600 units a day. So I can't even do math that high. You guys do the math. It's on around $30-some hundred in profits a day. So these books, they're worth every penny, kids. All right, so the next book that comes up, and I actually searched diary. This book ranks for diaries for girls. And this one as well, just like the previous one we saw, it is no surprise, this 3-minute gratitude journal for girls where they can actually write down their feelings and all that good crap. It just sounds like a fancy diary, pretty much is all it is. This actual book is ranked number 162 in books. So again, probably about 900 units or so a day. It's 500 units, so I was way off, which can clearly tell you I really can't recall things even. So I probably need one of those senior recollection books. All right, so the next type of book is a sketchbook, which is nothing more than a blank book. All this person did is write sketchbook on the outside and create this outside cover. And this particular sketchbook, which we can take a look at, which is not going to be anything life-changing because, well, guess what? It's just a blank book. All it is a blank book with blank pages. This book is number 824 in books. Like, I don't really think I need to continue showing you guys this. The only reason I'm doing it is to get you excited, because as you can clearly see, I'm excited about this when I punch these numbers in. But 168 sales a day, kids. Not a week, not a month, but a day. Now, the next style of book is the blank comic book. And all it pretty much is a bunch of lines in there that kind of help you create your own comic book. So if you're inclined to be a great artist, I am not. So this is not even something I would ever look at. But a book like this can actually fetch you as much as 9,000 in books. And if we take a look at that, again, I like to show you these numbers because they're quite exciting. 30 books a day, which is, again, imagine being able to sell 30 of something a day without lifting a single finger other than that first hour of development. All right, so the next one that we have is the journal. And this one happened to come up. It was a prayer journal for women. And if I actually click inside and take a look at what it looks like, there was nothing in there other than, I'm imagining there's some prayers somehow, or I'm not sure what, but it doesn't really show too much. And this prayer journal has 100 in books. So this prayer journal, again, let's do this because this is exciting. And I'm sure you guys love seeing this. 647 units a day for a freaking prayer journal. Now, the next one is a registry book. And this is the only one that I really looked at. I didn't open up anymore. This is more like a log book. But we're talking about a guest registry when somebody visits something. That could be an Airbnb. It could be an actual funeral registry. It could be a lot of different registries. But this basically just takes the people's name and what gift was received. Like, seriously, do we even really need to know who fucking gave you what gift? Sounds a little materialistic to me. I certainly wouldn't want to be invited to that baby shower. But then again, let's face it, I don't want to be invited to any baby shower. I'm allergic to baby. And if we take a look at this, since this is such a small and tiny niche, it's 750,000 in books. So you might wonder, well, Liz, I suck as art. And I'm not sure I could get those ranks that you're showing me. Lucky for you, if you're keeping an eye out for my case study, we can achieve ranks in anything, baby. And this book is selling a whole 6 per month. But let's think about the numbers here. $12 a month. That's still going to fetch you an extra $150 a year, which I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but let's just say you have 100 of these books. Now we're talking, baby. And that's the only baby I am not allergic to. All right, so the next type of book we're talking about is log books. So these are books where potentially diabetics log their actual blood sugar, where truckers drive their mileage, or business owners write their mileage in. That would be smart business owners, so don't count me in that actual loop. I don't even have a car. And so we can clearly see right here that this is where somebody would put contacts and important things, and all it is a blank note page. It's nothing fancy. It's where people, oh, here we go. Finally, we got some lines and some meals where somebody would actually track their blood sugar. So all in all, this actual book, if we scroll down here to the bottom, is 164,000 in books. So let's take a look and see what a book like this could actually fetch us. 2 sales a day or 30 sales a month. It doesn't sound like a lot, but again, like I told you, add these up and at the end of the year, baby, they're going to be a full-time salary for a lot of you guys, all for just doing them while you're sitting at home on the couch during coronavirus. All right, so the next book, which I talked about again, is the prayer journal. Again, this came up not only for journal, which is one of the categories that we could actually rank in, which is journal for women, journal for men, journal for anybody that's interested in writing their shit on paper, anybody that has drama in their life, which kind of includes all of us. But this was specifically a prayer book, which we already looked at the inside, we already looked at the numbers, and this just goes to show you that there's all sorts of categories, all sorts of reasons people want to write stuff down. And I've got 2 more, and I don't have examples. I figured we'd look for them together. So let's go ahead and take a look at these and how I actually found all these examples. I basically am looking for scrapbooks, and I want to see what pops up on this suggestion expander, and I'm going to see the books. So I'm looking for a scrapbook for girls. That always seems to be a pretty good category. And as I look through there, I can clearly see that none of these up at the top are Kindle books. So I'm going to keep scrolling down. We look and ignore for everything that has a spiral around it and or anything that looks like it's tied up like this. That's not a Kindle book. A Kindle book is pretty much like a flat picture. And these are not Kindle books either. I can clearly tell that these were from Hobby Lobby or something like that. And hey, we might not find some. I might have picked too broad an actual word, and I'm hoping that I find something, but I am not. So keep in mind that there are niches like this where things get made and they might not be on page 1 because of the fact that people are buying the other types of books, not these actual Kindle books, or nobody's really actually gone into the niche. A lot of these require a lot bigger than what Kindle can actually handle. So if you're a scrapping lady, you're probably looking for a longer book as opposed to something that's a little bit more compact and smaller because you want to fit as much crap in there as possible. So let's just go ahead and skip on this one and take a look at the very last one, which is an address book. And again, this is kind of similar to storage book, but I just wanted to add it in there as a 15th one. That way you guys can see that there's still people out there storing things on paper. We're just not all digital and fancy like we'd like to think. There's still old school people out there. Now take a look at this address, large print, which would be something that Granny definitely uses. So this is a great actual gift for grandma, and that's why a lot of people would actually go into this niche. So here's that example, large print address book, and if we jump on inside, we can clearly see that the first pages, they don't seem much larger than the last one. So that tells you these people didn't pay a heck of a lot of attention to what grandma needs. I would imagine if I'm a grandma, I might need one giant page for one contact. And so now let's look and see what this actual book makes. 55,000 in books. Let's see what 55,000 makes. 5,000 sells 6 a day, which is about 90 a month. Once again, about $200 a month for this book. And again, like I told you, $200 adds up quick. That's $2,500 a year for only spending maximum amount of time, 30 minutes on that puppy. And so that brings me to the conclusion. If you're not already excited about all this good stuff, well, you should be. And I know you might be saying like, oh, Liz, I'm not a graphic artist. I can't do this. Neither am I. On my first try, it took me over 3 hours and I'm still almost done with it. But I'm going to show you that within that 3 hours that I created that book, I'm going to rank that puppy to page 1, baby. All with the tactics I show in my case study, which should be coming out next week. But other than that, let me know your questions in your comments below. And just remember, you can do this. There are actually templates out there for sale that can help you create the entire inner workings of this. And then you can do your own cover like I did. And again, I have zero graphic experience. I don't even like to lift a finger when it comes to Photoshop, yet I was still able to produce this actual piece of work in about 3 hours. So be ready to see what happens on my 0 to 10K challenge. I got one book down and I still got about 15 more to go before I ever even earn my first cent is what I imagine. That way I can really ramp it up. So with the money that I make from those first 15 books, I'm going to reinvest that to actually putting the money into profit off of this book. And so we'll see what happens on that 0 to 10K challenge, which is coming soon. So I will see you all in the next video.